Hey everyone, welcome to a special bonus episode of Locked On Lakers for Sunday. Brian Kamenetsky here. The Lakers send a message to the Rockets in a chippy game. Lakers win by 10. It wasn't that close, and an important one for the Lakers in a lot of ways. I'll explain next.
You are Locked On Lakers, your daily Los Angeles Lakers podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thanks to everybody for making Locked On Lakers your first listen of every day, Monday through Friday, and obviously sometimes on Sundays. Always free, never behind a paywall. Locked On Lakers on YouTube is where you can go hang out with about 22,000 subscribers to the YouTube channel. Andy is off doing radio work following the Lakers 107-97 win on Saturday against the Rockets. Lakers now 12-9, I believe, heading into the tournament game on Tuesday, the first of what hopefully will be a couple tournament games for the Lakers. This was an interesting one, I thought, for a couple of reasons. Obviously, it was a big deal for the Lakers on paper, at least. They got a lot healthier on Saturday than they have been in a while. Rui Hachimura was originally listed as available. He didn't end up playing, but is expected to play Tuesday against Phoenix. And Jared Vanderbilt actually did make his season debut. He played 13 and a half minutes. Not super impactful. No points, 4 rebounds. But it was really good to see him back out on the floor. Obviously, the Lakers need as many players as they can. Like, they've just not been whole. And so for them to be in a position now where they can start to get more guys on the floor, start to have a better idea. LeBron said, I don't know what we are. And that's in part because they haven't been healthy enough to figure it out. But in this one, this was a game that had an edge, started off that way just because of, Dylan Brooks, I think, has sort of brought that now with LeBron James. The rivalry that he sort of seems to be bringing by himself. And this game got very chippy. Ime Udoka, Rockets head coach, was thrown out after he picked up an early technical and then a later technical, dual technicals with him and LeBron. So that was the end of it for Udoka. But there was a lot of pushing and shoving, a lot of chippiness in this game. And it was good. I think that's good for the Lakers to have a night like this. And it did not get off to a great start. Houston came out red hot in this game, and the Lakers just couldn't hit any shots, not to save their lives. But eventually the Rockets stopped shooting 75% from the floor. And once they did, the Lakers really turned it up. They started to make some really good progress, cutting a double-digit deficit in half by the end of the first quarter. And then, I haven't made a definitive ranking of the best quarters the Lakers have played all season, but the 35-14 second quarter that the Lakers poured on the Rockets has got to be up there. Again, I'm probably not going to do that because we've all got better things to do with our time. But the Rockets, that's when the Lakers really took the game from the Rockets. Never really, relinquished control. Houston got it down to 11 before garbage time. Lakers pushed it back out to close to 20 and kept it there. Game got a little bit interesting in garbage time, but the Lakers managed to close it out with the reserves on the floor without having to bring the starters back in, which is obviously really good. The hallmark of this game, I think, for the Lakers was balance. It started with Anthony Davis, 27 points, 14 rebounds, 3 assists. He had 5 blocks. His activity from the literal jump was outstanding. AD was all over the place. Even when the Lakers were struggling at the beginning of the game, his work effort and his output were outstanding. And so you could tell that once the Lakers would be able to turn the corner, that AD would be, a big part of that. And he certainly was, the activity on both ends of the floor. LeBron wasn't asked to do a lot, but I'm sure every Lakers fan, most basketball fans by now have seen the 360 layup that he hit right before the end of the first half that had James Worthy on the Spectrum Sportsnet broadcast, at the halftime, he actually brought out a chair because he had to sit down because of what LeBron did. He was only 7 of 17 from the floor. LeBron, not worthy. 16 points, 7 assists. He had 5 turnovers. Excuse me. It wasn't the best game from LeBron, but they really didn't need it because every Laker who played more than 15 minutes was basically in double figures except for D'Angelo Russell. He had 9 points, but D'Lo's big contributions in this game: 7 assists, no turnovers, and 5 steals. He is not a guy who is a lockdown defender, but he's got a lot of length and gets his hand on a lot of passes, and he certainly was very active in that way on Saturday. Really like what Austin Reeves did after missing his first 3 shots. He made his 6 of his next 8, got to the line 6 times, finished with 18 points and 3 steals, and just contributions up and down the lineup. One important one, I think, is Taurean Prince, who is 3 of 5 from 3-point range. And as you get Rui Hachimura back, and as Jared Vanderbilt's coming back, it's important that Prince is quietly starting to play good basketball again, because one of the things that made the Lakers look so good in the preseason was the outside shooting. It's been absent for too much of this season, but Russell has started to get very hot from 3, and a lot of this was really created by Taurean Prince. And so what you want to have is not 2 guys who can come back and put Prince on the bench. It's 2 guys who can come back, and now you have all the optionality that Darvin Ham is looking for. You have a bunch of different lineups that you can play. You have the gravity of Prince, and hopefully Vanderbilt, as he rounds into form, can at least be a competent 3-point shooter when it's needed. But cutting and back cutting and the aggressiveness on the offensive glass and all that stuff that Jared Vanderbilt can bring, you want the option of being able to see it. You want the option of being able to see every look, every option that Darvin Ham would want in any given game. Also, really good to see Max Christie, as his playing time looks like it might be threatened. Cam Reddish was back in this game. He had 11 points, 4 of 7 from the floor, 3 of 3 from the free throw line, 5 rebounds. Played pretty well. Max Christie was great. He had 12 points in almost 30 minutes of play to go along with 7 rebounds, and he was a plus 19 on the night. He was on the floor when the Lakers made that huge run in the second quarter, and continues to draw the toughest assignments. Tonight he saw a lot of Fred VanVleet and some of the other scorers that Jalen Green and some of the other scorers that Houston can put out on the floor. And he continues to stand up to these very difficult defensive assignments in a really solid way. So look, this was a strong effort for the Lakers. It was one that was, I think, much needed to kind of continue the upward arc for this team. The Rockets have not won a game on the road yet. They've been surprisingly competent as a team. At 8-9 now, but that includes an 0-8 road record. So now after this game, so you don't want to be the first team that to allow a team like Houston get a win outside their own building. So the Lakers move to 8-2 at home. They've got a home game on Tuesday against Phoenix in the next round of the Big Vegas tournament, to see who, I guess, advances to Las Vegas. So an important home game coming up on Tuesday. The NBA is certainly making a big deal out of it. No games in the NBA tomorrow as everybody kind of gets geared up and ready for Monday and Tuesday, the next round of the in-season tournament. There'll be a lot to talk about, including the return of Vanderbilt and Rui Hachimura for Monday's show, the continuing good play of Anthony Davis, and I think some quiet good signs. They are not out of the woods yet. The Lakers aren't by any stretch of the imagination, but there are some quiet good signs for where they might be going as players start to get healthy. So that is an important development, no question there. Lots more to cover on Monday's show. Before we do that, of course, Want to let you know that today's episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. It's the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America, the easiest and most exciting way to play DFS. It's just you against the numbers. So instead of battling thousands of other players, including pros and sharks, you pick more or less than 2 to 6 player stat projections, and you watch the winnings roll in. So with basketball season, you can now pick combo projections across football and basketball. Lots of big games coming up on Sunday in the NFL. This is from the Specials League, a league created specifically for combo projections that includes 2 or more players from different sports or leagues. For example, LeBron James and Travis Kelce at a 10.5 combo of 3-pointers made and receptions. That's an interesting one. You want to play alongside some of Prize Picks' favorite players like Meek Mill and comedian Andrew Schultz. You can now find community plays under the promos tab of the app to view entries from some of the biggest names in the Prize Picks community each week. So go to prizepicks.com /LockedOnNBA and use the code LockedOnNBA for a first deposit match up to $100. Again, prizepicks.com /LockedOnNBA. Use that code LockedOnNBA for a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy. Locked On Lakers also brought to you by Jace Medical. Look, I know that we come to sports to escape some of the big crazy realities of our actual lives, but we just got to talk for a second about preparing and being prepared for the things that do happen in real life. And according to the FDA, pharmacies can run low or even run out of antibiotics like amoxicillin right in the middle of the worst flu season in over a decade. And that can be scary for families. I can't imagine a more helpless feeling than not being able to take care of my kids or my wife or myself if a supply chain issues keeps them from getting the medicine that we need. But we don't have to worry about that because of Jace Medical. The Jace case is a pack of 5 different antibiotics to treat a long list of bacterial illnesses, including UTIs, respiratory infections, sinusitis, skin infections, among others. This stuff could happen to any of us. You can probably hear in my voice. It's happening to me now. But visit jacemedical.com and complete your physician encounter. It will be reviewed by a board-certified physician, and your medications will be dispensed by a licensed pharmacy at a fraction of the regular cost. It's never been more important to prepare than today. So go to jacemedical.com, use the code LOCKEDON to get $20 off your order. We will see everyone tomorrow.